Hey, what's up you guys, it's Robin from REVIEW+ANALYSIS, and I know my format is a bit different, but you guys can tell me what you think in the comments down below. Basically what I'm doing today is a review and analysis on Princess Turdina and Starfari. These episodes were a bit of, fillers, but the good thing about season 3 is most or half of the episodes are very plot heavy, and I mean the fillers that are in season 3, they always have some significance to the overall story or future plot or future arcs. So I mean, we're getting really good content in season 3, but basically let me get into this analysis. So it kind of starts off in the carriage led by an invisible goat, and they're going to St. Olga's because the princesses are kind of, honoring Princess Marco Turdina, and Marco's not so sure and, wants to come clean. And when they get out, this is like a parallel that I noticed. Star says, "You're having a princess moment," or "You're having a princess problem." And Marco says, "Yeah, I'm having a princess problem." And this is a parallel. I'm not sure why it's parallel and what it means, but it takes the same lines and how they say it from Star Crushed, when Jackie asks or tells Marco, "You're having a Marco moment," and Marco says, "Yeah, I'm having a Marco moment," in the exact same way. And I thought that was just something I needed to point out. And then they get introduced, or they get, toured from this princess. I don't think they said her name. You guys can comment her name if you know it. But yeah, everybody's excited to see Marco, and they're all very wayward. They're throwing parties a little bit too, not responsible for Marco, because, Marco being Marco, he loves, rules. So, he kind of slipped up, and the princess was like, "If what you said, wasn't true during the revolt, like, this whole school would be built on a lie." And Marco kind of, saves it. And then they go into this hall, a whole hall dedicated to Marco, Princess Marco Turdina. And they have, the first poster that was ever hanged up, a lock of his hair, and even, they're making a movie about Princess Turdina, I guess. And he's kind of getting overwhelmed from all the princesses coming up to him, and Star is kind of, thinking that he should come clean, and says this like a few times. But I mean, Marco does get a little pulled in, and Ponyhead's just like, "Yo, Star, just like let him have his moment, don't ruin it for him." But she kind of, tells him to tell the truth. And I mean, to be honest, Marco really is very organized and rule-abiding, so for him to be this idol of, rebellion and breaking the rules, is really ironic. So eventually he doesn't listen to Star, and he gets this St. Olga's degree of, honor. So he has to make a speech, and he's kind of nervous. So, I mean, he talks about them inspiring him, and it's important to be true to yourself, even though it might disappoint thousands of people, which of course he's leading up to a confession until Miss Heinous comes in and tries to expose Marco. But instead of, the princesses believing Miss Heinous, Marco confesses that he's not really a princess, and Miss Heinous really tries to convince the other princesses that, you know, they're living under a lie and filth, and that they should take her as their master again. And not only do they need her, but she also needs them, which was kind of surprising that she said that. But in the end of the video, or in the end of the episode, we find out that she's been taking this energy juice, I'm not sure, from the princesses to, you know, regain her strength or whatever. So that makes sense why she said that she needs them. But the princesses kind of like say, whoa, 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 like, it doesn't matter if Marco's a boy, like, what he did what he did, and it wasn't wrong. That Princess Turdina is just an idea. And so they all revolt against Miss Heinous, and everything is kind of back to normal. They're accepting Marco, which is really great. They're very accepting. I guess Miss Heinous assumed that they wouldn't, and I mean, Ponyhead and Star thought they wouldn't either. So it was great to see that they were very accepting of Marco being a boy. And we kind of see the camera phone princess. I'm not sure what her name is, but Miss Heinous is taking like her juice and her energy or something. And we do see Rasticor. You know, he's been growing back. He got like blown up in season 2, and he's been growing back like bit by bit. So we might see him all the way full again by the end of season 3 maybe. But anyways, Miss Heinous kind of has her cheek marks, pulls off that whole like suction cup thing that it was kind of similar to what we saw in Stranger Danger with Star putting those over her cheeks. But yeah, she says she wants to go for Marco, even though it would make more sense to go for Star since, you know, Star has more magic. But I mean, Miss Heinous is a character that has been kind of waiting in the wings as a villain, and in season 3 right now, Eclipse is kind of debatable, hasn't really come up as the villain, so we don't really have a villain right now. I think there's going to be a Miss Heinous arc, because this definitely looks like it's building up to something. But, you know, this episode kind of ends on a cliffhanger, so there's definitely more to be seen with Miss Heinous. So that's basically it for Princess Turdina. And at the start of Starfari, we do see Tom and Star casually just shopping for ripped shirts, kind of like at a thrift store or something. But Star sees the shopkeeper kind of discriminate against a monster guy that's just trying to buy some ripped shirts, you know, and then he even mistakes Tom as a monster, but, you know, he like apologizes and says, please don't incinerate my shop. And I found this scene really funny. So Star gets to thinking, and she goes to her mom with all, like, very upset, not understanding why a lot of the other kingdoms that don't have humans for, you know, rulers, which is basically all the other kingdoms that they're aligned with. She brought up, you know, Rich Pigeon, Tom, the crystal guy, oh my god, I forgot his name, and a couple other ones. But Moon was just like, well, you know, they're rich, they're aligned with us, so therefore they are not monsters. But Star does not understand what's the difference, and I mean, like, it's pretty racist, Moon, just to put that out there. But Moon just tells her, go talk to the royal monster expert. So Star goes and finds Jelly Goodwell, the royal monster expert, and she's she's kind of bonkers. But surprisingly to Star, you know, she says that she's the princess she's been waiting for, and that she wants monsters to be loved and have a nice habitat, and Star's really into that, even though it's kind of shady, because, you know, this lady's pretty weird. But, you know, they go to her research lab, and as she's spying, like, or not spying, like, just looking at the town of monsters, she talks about how it's so fascinating that they learned how to make structures that almost look like buildings, and that they were smart enough to use them as shelter. And Star's like, wait, what? So yeah, obviously this monster expert really doesn't know very much about monsters. It sounds like she just thinks they're, you know, kind of like almost like animals. And Star's like, you can just get to know them, you don't need all this like extra stuff. But, you know, Jelly Goodwell just wants to make an island so they can, like, so the MEWMANs won't hurt the monsters anymore. You know, good intentions, wrong way of doing it. But Star's like, whoa, humans can't make this decision. They've been making decisions for monsters this whole time. But, I mean, Jelly Goodwell being, you know, kind of crazy, she just pushes the button, and, I mean, she pushes it again in conversation with Buffrog. So Star works together with all the monsters to do this, you know, barrier, so the big, like, dam, the river from the dam, the water from the dam doesn't, like, you know, totally destroy the town. And I mean, her magic, like, you can tell that her control of magic has gotten a lot better. And oh my god, I just thought of this reference. She finally learned how to do Levitato. This is a lot like Levitato that we saw in season 2. And she couldn't do basic magic, but I guess she can now, and it makes her, like, very more controlled. It's really kind of reflects on how her approach is in this season. You know, she's a little bit more, you know, thinking what's right, a lot more responsible, because she's trying to be a better princess, and it's showing up with her magic too. So they are successful, and everybody's cheering, everybody's happy, but, you know, of course, Jelly Goodwell kind of has to make it weird, and says that, you know, humans should live with the monsters, live like the monsters. You know, everybody's just, it's obvious now that she is definitely crazy. And Star gives Buffrog the monster expert badge, making him the royal monster expert. So it's great. I think this means that we're gonna see Buffrog. Well, okay, wait. Does this mean that Buffrog is going to be living in the castle as the monster expert, like, the royal monster expert? I hope that's the case. Like, we're getting a lot of, you know, Star bringing the monsters and the MEWMANs together. So I think that would be like a smart choice to put Buffrog in the castle too, because, you know, the setting is based, you know, around the castle, and he's an important character that represents the monsters, and how not all of them are bad, and a lot of them are just like MEWMANs, but of course, look different. This week, the episodes for this week have been really building up to that whole, idea of Star's endgame being bringing the monsters and humans together, and a lot of people thought that would be how the show ends, but it looks like it's happening right now, and we're getting a lot of content this week about it. Really good. So a lot of progress on that, and I'm really excited to see the monsters and MEWMANs be brought together. But yeah, that's basically all I have for this review and analysis. So if you liked it, go give me a like, and if you want to put input on if you liked this format or something about this episode, go ahead and comment down in the section below, and subscribe to stay tuned for more.